These are the GreatStockPicks.com highlights from January 5th, Wednesday. LRCX is one of the highlights from today. There's the symbol. Okay, you can see these are 5-minute candles, down big at the open, grinding down, and starting another leg down here on increasing volume. You combine that with the fact the daily chart is already down several days in a row. Okay, so this had the look that we teach our members of possible, we call it a PFPD, a possible final push down. It had that look of possible capitulation where we might be catching a bottom. Using a method we teach, we call this at 47.01. The worst case stop, 9 cents below, never got hit. And from 47.01, there, let's get that out of there. It did make it all the way to 47.52, so about a 50-cent move, again on 9 cents risk. Not a huge trade, but just I wanted to share with you the idea and the thinking behind the big sell-off and then a big intraday sell-off, and that potential final push down look. That tends to be a pretty steady winner in our chat room. PUDA, this one is very strong daily. I had kind of an island reversal down here. These are daily candles. A gap up, another gap up, another gap up, finally a couple red days. All right, then when you switch to the intraday chart from today, this is the opening candle, put in an early high of 14, started to challenge that again. I said we could play this like a bounce play. If this one can break that early high, 14.01, it could get some momentum again. It's been very strong, and after a couple red days, that's usually how it works. And you can see right there, 14.01, it ended up making it to 14.55, so another over 50-cent move. The stop was a little wide depending on where our members put it. When I take something like this, worst case is going to be below one of these two previous candles. 13.78 was my worst case line in the sand. If you want to trade tighter than that, you could also gone below this 5 at 13.90. Didn't really matter because you were never in danger of even a break even after it took off 14.01 over the next half hour all the way up to like 14.40 and never looked back at the 14.01. So, you know, the initial line in the sand that you always have to have was pretty much irrelevant on that one right after the trigger. BSDM, this one, we kind of snuck into this one. This is one that's been real strong. He's had a huge day there, and then it's been consolidating ever since. So I kind of have this on a chart off to my left on one of my monitors every day to see if I see something. And then at the open this morning, see how it had that little spike? These are 5-minute candles. The opening 5-minute candle for today is right here. That's supposed to be an arrow. Yesterday's high was right here. So it opened at 470, like a penny below yesterday's high. Had that kind of little mid-morning rally yesterday. Sold off to 460, so it's in a dime range, 460 to 470. I told our members it has almost no volume, but if it hits 471, could easily get through yesterday's high, and then may get something started where the crowd starts to chase, because when the crowd starts to see stock like BSDM lighten up the new highs ticker, they tend to chase and start buying indiscriminately no matter what. And you can see right there, once it started 5-10 minutes later, started really lighting up the new highs ticker, then they started piling in, and look at that big. And as we teach, we sell on the way up. You start getting a move like that, rather than starting to get your calculator out and say, hey, how much can I make if this goes to 6 today? Whenever I teach our members, whenever they get that feeling, whenever you start reaching for a calculator to add up how much you're going to make, that should trigger a new mechanism in your brain that says, hey, wait a minute, Mike said when I do that, it's time to start selling. And that's a great method. It's a kind of an intangible. You can't quantify it, but you know that feeling when you start doing the math on, hey, this thing, I'm going to be rich. That should trigger something in your head. Time to start selling. You can sell in parts. You don't have to sell it all. Sell some, tighten your stop below a recent low, something like that. But anyway, and it did kind of give it back at the end of the day. Didn't matter, because when we get this spike, we're sellers, not buyers. So, and one other one was kind of interesting. DISCA, Discovery Communications. Man, this thing was just grinding down all day. These are 5-minute candles and just really no kind of clean setup. But it did kind of form what I looked for, these stair steps, and the volume was starting to increase. So this was possible. This area in this little sorry looking circle is possible capitulation. Zoomed in. I was projecting the chart for our members live. Whoops. And I said if this breaks a previous 5's high here, I'm going to take it. 40.38 was my entry idea. Worst case stop, 40.33. So a nickel risk. See the volume there? Possible turn coming. 40.38. Never looks back at that nickel risk. and made it all the way. And again, not a huge move, but 40.38 to 40.76 when your risk was this tight, not bad at all. So, all right, I'm going to quit babbling. That's the highlights from today. We'll send out another highlight video on Thursday night. Have a great night.